Welcome, everyone. And Gaurav is going to keep letting people in as they join in. Um, it's a very powerful month this month. You know, we've had one of the strongest solar eclipses that has just gone, and there's another one coming up very soon. Um, 3 is the magic, it's like the sacred geometry number at this time. And it's going to be the sacred geometry number. It's like literally the tips of the triangle. It's as if, there are like different pivot points that are being brought together. So we'll see how that shows up and how that pans out. And at some point, I might just do a transmission just purely about the new sacred geometry for the era that we are in. There's a lot that has been revealed to me. I mean, I'm in a big study that I'm involved in right now with led by Archangel Metatron about the new sacred geometry. It's not yet ready to be released out into the world. So as soon as we have got to a point where there's sufficient harmonization between the soul presence and the human form, I will start sharing this body of work. We just happen to be in a lockdown, otherwise you would have seen some of it show up in my paintings. Don't have canvas, even though I have the paint, so I'm not able to express it in that form of expression. But welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us. The whole intention of this session is to release the deep-seated inner conflict which arises as a result of a soul being feeling confined and restricted through expressing itself in this human form. And by the soul being understanding the partnership of the human form as intended by the Creator, as an amplification agent, if you like, for the expression of the soul, once the soul being understands that, it learns to honor itself. And in honoring itself, it is ready to express itself fully in its full regalia through the human form, which is really the form that is the vehicle for the expression of the soul in this third dimension reality. And the human form is recognized by the soul in its vibration of love, which is a frequency of the vibration, which is an amplifying frequency. So what we began last time, there are many, many basic foundation pieces that we have covered as we have been doing these sessions over the last several weeks. So I'm not going to repeat all of those. What we are engaged in right now is getting a deeper understanding of the soul presence. So the question that has been asked a few times from me, and it is something that we have trained ourselves, in the years that have gone by, to uplift our human form so that our vibrational quality uplifts, and there are various processes that different masters and different ways that we have been taught to enable that upliftment of the human form. What this beyond meditation, the human vibe attunement does is it brings in the soul level. The focus is on the soul and brings in the soul and the soul frequency. And by getting the soul frequency to recognize the human form as the perfect partner for its expression in this third dimensional reality, this soul being starts to acknowledge the human form by acknowledging itself as a human, by receiving itself as a human, and accepting itself as a human. So the upliftment of the human form takes place by something that is of such a high vibrational frequency, providing this acknowledgement, receiving itself as such, and accepting itself. That is how the human form is uplifted, without having to go through any other detailed process for that upliftment to occur. And the intention here is that dissolving of that deep-seated conflict that exists in every human form. that is live and breathing. Because once we stop breathing, we have a change of state from life to death. And that change of state, the key definition of that is the soul being is no longer expressing itself through that human form. So whilst there is breath, the soul is intact. It is there in the human form. And so the human form is impacted by all of the goings-ons that take place, through its experiences. And many of you have heard me say, we are all magnificent beings in human disguise, and it is only the human disguise that gets fractured. The magnificence remains the same. What is that magnificence? The magnificence has two components. It is the soul presence in the human form, and it is the vibe, the innate vibe of being human, which is love. Those are the two elements of magnificence, and that remains intact. So having the soul presence and the innate vibe of human, both of these are creations of the creator, and they exist in their purest vibration within this human form. So it's a very high vibrational frequency. In doing this work, by having a very high vibrational frequency, uplift another, which may be slightly depleted in its vibrational frequency, which is a human form, we are actually changing that equation and that phrase that many of us have used before, which is the lowest common denominator, is what in any particular group, everything gravitates towards the lowest common denominator. We are actually shifting that dynamic also and bringing in an anchoring of an understanding and an inner knowing that it is the highest vibe that actually uplifts everything that may be in the low vibe that exists. So many, many little pieces that are actually playing out. And rather than solve the world's problems by projecting ourselves outside of us, we are actually transmutating and enabling the world and everything that this planet is made up of to return to its innate vibration by focusing on ourselves, and each one of us getting to a state where we can be in complete harmony within ourselves. Not only can we be in complete harmony, we actually get into a space of collaborative co-creators, of coexistence, and doing so with choice, doing so with certainty, doing so in such a way that we anchor the celebration vibe. And doing so we come into complete coherence of the whole beingness of ourselves. So we began last week by understanding more about the soul. So if soul is such a high vibrational frequency, what is it? And this is a body of work that was downloaded to me, and I titled it The Autobiography of a Soul. And so I'm really reading excerpts of it. This download came to me as I was there with my mother. My mother has crossed over in 2010. She's an ascended master. And from time to time, she comes in when there's a new body of work that is important for me to understand. And I was going through a gallbladder surgery, and she literally appeared just a few hours before I went into the operating room. And this is what emerged from that time with her over the next 5 days of recovery. And this is the culmination of a whole body of work which makes up a detailed understanding of the human form and the soul being. I'm choosing to focus my attention on the soul being so that we all start to get a coherent understanding of what that is. So, continuing on from where we were last time. I'm going to read in Hindi and I'm going to translate it. So, Atma kabhi mitai nahi jati. The soul is indestructible. यही उसका आत्मविश्वास है. जब आप अपनी आत्मा की शक्ति को जानेंगे, आप ये पहचानेंगे कि आत्मा सभी रूप में परिपूर्ण है, उसमें किसी चीज की कमी नहीं और उसे किसी चीज की जरूरत भी नहीं. Once you understand, so the fact that the soul is indestructible, that is the self-confidence that exists in the soul being that is housed in a human form. And when you get that, this is the power of the soul that you are housing in this human form, you will start to understand and recognize that this soul being is whole and complete. It has no need for anything. There is nothing lacking in it. And it doesn't even require anything. उसकी तो यात्रा बस अनुभव के खजाने को बढ़ाने की युक्ति है. इस परिसंपन्न रूप में मनुष्य के शरीर में प्रवेश करती है आत्मा. उसका ना मन होता है ना हृदय. उसका बस उज्जवल तेज होता है. So all it desires is to gather a treasure trove of experiences. It is not lacking in anything. It doesn't require anything. It does not need anything. And it keeps it through its journey, as it keeps expanding its treasure trove of experiences, it starts to become even more strengthened in its whole and completeness. And with this whole and complete form, it enters the human form. It has no mind, it has no heart. All it has is an illumination, an illuminated light. उसका उज्जवल तेज होता है, जो आपके मनुष्य देह में उजाला फैला देता है. आत्मा आत्मज्ञानी है, ना तो उसकी याददाश्त है, ना ही उसका कोई बुरा भला कर सकता है. So with this illuminated light, it enters this human form and it spreads that light within this human form. The soul, it has its own knowledge and it knows that it is wise beyond what a human can comprehend. It does not have any memory and neither is it affected by anybody saying good or bad about it. And nobody can even do anything good or bad to the soul. It does not have a yesterday. It does not have a tomorrow. It only resides in the truth of the moment. आत्मा किसी का बुरा भला नहीं सोचती. आत्मा तो सोच से मुक्त है. आत्मा में संपूर्ण अस्तित्व को लेकर प्रवेश करा था आपके शरीर में. आत्मा तो अपने अनुभव के ज्ञान का भंडार लाई थी. So the soul does not think good or bad about anyone. Actually, it is even free of any thought. In its whole and completeness, with its knowing that is so plugged into the all-knowing, with that essence, it entered the human form. And when it entered the human form, it brought with it its treasure trove of experiences and the wisdom that comes with that. जब आत्मा आपके शरीर को छोड़ेगी तो इसी भंडार को लेकर जाएगी. शक्ति, शौहर, पैसा, अमीरी, गरीबी, रिश्ते, गिले शिकवे, प्यार, मोहब्बत यादों में बसकर रह जाएंगे. So when the soul leaves your body, it is just going to leave with these memories, with these experiences, with the wisdom from these experiences. Fame, reputation, legacy, wealth, prosperity, richness, relationships, any breakdowns or conflicts that might have arisen in this human form, all of that will just remain behind in the form of memories that really get etched and left behind on this on the planet as the soul leaves. आत्मा अपनी सच्चाई में लीन हो जाएगी. आत्मा का रहस्य इतना सरल और इतना सुंदर है कि लोग जानते हुए भी इसको अपनाने से घबराते हैं. and the soul will return to its truth. This secret of the soul, that it is indestructible, that it came with nothing other than its own experiences and the wisdom from it, and it is going to leave with nothing other than again its experiences and the richness of wisdom that arises from it. That's all there is to it, and it has everything. There is no lack. It is infinite. It is eternal. It is indestructible. Totally not impacted by any judgments or evaluations by anybody. You know, that's the secret of the soul, and it is so simple. So simple. And yet, knowing that it is so simple, it sometimes becomes difficult. And it's actually, sometimes people are fearful to even accept that. आत्मा पूर्ण संपूर्ण है. अगर आप आत्मा की इस सच्चाई को समझें और आप जो चाहें संपूर्ण कर सकते हैं. So once you really get that the vibe of the soul being is the vibe of whole and completeness, that there is nothing lacking, there is nothing missing, there is only everything that you require. Once you get that, and you completely own that this indestructible, limitless, eternal power resides in you, and it is wanting to express itself through you, you get to know the power of who you really are. It wants for nothing. It needs nothing. And it is just here to enrich its experiences through your human form. And the human form only has one reason for being the vessel of expression of the soul being, which is to provide that amplification frequency of love. So when something as powerful as the soul chooses to acknowledge itself as a human, I mean, this piece is so brilliant and so powerful. It is not acknowledging the human. It is not receiving the human. That would be a hands-off way of looking at the human. It is not accepting the human for what it is. What it is doing is it is acknowledging itself as a human. It is receiving itself as a human. It is accepting itself as a human. And in doing it in this way, the human form, all it does is receives. And in receiving this acknowledgement, receiving this recognition, receiving this acceptance by something as powerful as a soul being that it has been housing up to now, it rises and uplifts itself to match the frequency of the soul. And literally what that does is it is a coming home of the human to its innate vibe. It is a coming home of the soul being into its palace of extraordinary miracles, which is the human form. So we will begin with a 946 breath, which aligns your mind, your heart, and your gut. It is the mind brain which operates in the past future, so it is all about survival. The heart brain that is anchored in the now, and the gut brain, which is a custodian of all the wisdom that your soul being has earned through its various experiences, and hence the gut instinct. We're going to align those three, and in doing so, we are literally opening up and unblocking the 13 chakras that are meant to be active and activated at this time on our planet for each and every human being. In doing so, what we are also doing is opening up a holographic connection of each one of you that is here on the call to all the connections that you have ever made, to all other living beings that make up our planet right now. And as that holographic connection and amplification of your own vibe, SARS conflict without the conflict, and with the release of that separation from source, coming into that complete coherence frequency, as you start holographically spreading that out, anything and everything that comes in along the way, as you connect to the different beings that you have connected with, also experiences an upliftment. It's as if each one of you has your own little pixie dust that by itself, as you holographically expand, starts to spread and touch those that you have touched, and also rub off on others that are along the way. And this is our way of making a difference to releasing conflict outside of us. Okay, let's begin. Breathe in, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take your right hand and just put it over your navel. And take your left hand and just put it above your heart. A little bit on the left hand side, above your heart. And as the soul being acknowledges itself as a human, receives itself as a human, and accepts itself as a human, you're actually experiencing the harmonization of what is taking place within you through your sacral chakra. And you're anchoring it in the now through your heart. So repeat after me. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. Acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. You're now going to take a 9-4-6 breath. And the intention this time is to get into a whole brain state where your left and right brains are completely harmonized. And that energetic fracture that sometimes exists in human form that separates the left and the right brain is completely healed. So breathe in 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 9, 2, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take your hands in front of your throat and rub them against each other. Put them over your eyes. Open your eyes and then take them on top of your head, the back of your neck, either side of your shoulders, and do an energy sweep. Thank you. With that, I declare the Beyond Meditation Human Vibe Attunement complete. And we always love to receive one word that you may be present to, that you would love to share in completion. And if we don't have your email address, we are just getting ready to send out the link to my audiobook, the B-book, that is just being released on Amazon. So if you don't have your email address, please send it, please put it in the chat as well. Thank you. And it will be a free download for as long as Amazon allowed that to happen. So right now it's available. Thank you. Feeling lively and aligned, growth, gratitude, aligned. Gratitude, magnificence, more gratitude, peacefulness, love. Grounded, connected oneness. Exuberance, that's nice. More gratitude, joyous and enlightened. Amazed, divine partnership, eternal love, miraculous love. Power, thanks and thanks. Sunshine, okay. Peace, optimistic, grounded. You know, this whole illumination of the soul, I had this amazing experience once where I just had this experience as if I had the sun rising in every cell in my body. And it was quite an experience to have that. It was a very powerful healing. And I know for myself that up to that point in time, I had a nice little medley of conditions such as type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure and hormonal imbalance and all that. And it was literally a couple of weeks after that that I went to India and got myself tested and everything was fine. I know that that sunrise in every cell definitely brought about a very big transformation. With this body of work, as I deepen my understanding of the soul presence and really started acknowledging my human body for the power that it is, you know, to house and be the channel for expression and fulfillment of the divine plan through the soul presence. I had this experience not that long ago where it was like the illumination of the soul literally started bursting out of every cell. And it happened because we've been doing this human vibe attunement, you know. And I was traveling so much all over the world before the lockdown happened, which gave me hours and hours of being in this delicious space of the human vibe attunement. And voila, I had that experience of the soul being and that illumination of the soul being. It's literally like there is no end to the expansiveness of you in your soul presence. And even a sliver of light in a dark room means there is no darkness. You can imagine the power of illumination we carry within each one of us. There is no chance of any darkness to exist if you don't allow it to. So I can keep talking about this and yeah, keep sharing your words. Amazed, eternal love, miraculous love, power, more thanks. Thank you, ecstatic love, blessings. Wow, Stephanie, this is beautiful to hear. Manifestation, this is great. Yes, we also have the 12 steps of exquisite enchanting relationships. So it will happen at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time today, which is 6 a.m. India time tomorrow. And we are going to cover step number 2 of exquisite enchanting relationships. And I know, Mary, you're there every time, and it's 1:30 in the morning for you. So yes, it's 1:30 in the morning in England, 5:30 p.m. in Pacific time, and 6 a.m. India time tomorrow. So enjoy.